So good to see her as well.
It's me.
Hello.
Hello.
How you been?
Um, it's good to be here. What a
It's
lovely
good to have you.
space. Thank you. Um, I wanted to start by sharing a cute little story about our dear Greyhound Julie.
Mhm.
I've been having uh, difficulty, shall we say, lately with a lot of strong emotion and reactivity. But I'm just plucking along. Fortunately, we have Julie, so I get to go for a walk and just be.
Yeah.
So the other day, I'm walking along, and she can feel like love very strongly. And so we're going along the sidewalk, and there's this character in a Cookie Monster mask with a carriage, and I think he was a homeless guy collecting bottles. And she's making a beeline for this guy, and so I knew, oh, this is just a wonderful, loving being. So we have this very brief interaction, and she's just so happy, and I'm happy because she's happy, and the guy's happy, and he's talking about it. He found this mask, and people are beeping at him and waving. I mean, it's just this very joyful experience, and I was so grateful in the midst of all this awful reactivity, just to this guy and looking into his beautiful blue eyes. And I said, thank you so much for making my day. And so then I'm walking home, and he's going through our neighborhood, and I had never seen him before, and I can see him going into one property. I didn't really know what he was doing, and I saw him cross the street. I guess he's going into people's recycling or looking for cans and such. And so I'm walking up the street, and I said, "Hey, Cookie Monster." He turns around. I'm like, "Thanks again for making my day." And it was so beautiful. And then later that day, I was going to a memorial service for a friend, and I was explaining the story of the Cookie Monster and how it's been so hard. But I just came across this guy, and this is amazing. And I'm looking out the window. I'm like, there's a cookie, and this is like all the way across town. I see a Cookie Monster mask, and I'm like, oh, that can't be the same guy. And I was looking at the hand, and the hand was dark, so I thought it was an African American, and this guy was white. I'm like, no, it can't be him. But somehow he must have been dirty or something, because when he turned around, yes, it was the same guy. So I had to go outside from the service again and just look at him. He had a bottle of alcohol and was drinking. I don't care about any of that stuff. I was just, again, looking into his beautiful blue eyes, and just twice now, he has just made my day for existing. So super grateful. That's the stuff of life that I just really warms my heart. I'm very thankful for.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I guess you could call it fourth and fifth federal work. And I've been doing daily trauma release exercises, and I'm finding like all hell is breaking loose, basically. I mean, the body knows what to do in the trauma release exercises, so the Kundalini goes just craziness. Rage, primal rage, depths of sorrow, and sometimes with pictures, sometimes it's just the pure sensation going through. Twice a day, I've been attempting to be in this so-called Shamalek gap, where I'm framing an upset in the negative and attempting to just viscerally be with whatever shows up. And I'm noticing that the thoughts about, you're crucifying me, why are you making me do this? And then when I go to the sensation, okay, well, that's a little dramatic. That's not really a match for what I'm actually feeling. No, there's not nails really going into my flesh. So I'm seeing, the dissonance between the sensation and the stories that are being told. And I mean, it seems that anger is reigning now. And just, it's looking for a place to land. Of course, it can always find a story. I'm trying to just not land anywhere, but ask questions like, okay, so what is this? What is this? What is this without a story? What is this without time? What is this without a subject? And God, it's just, I was watching your video this morning on, I guess it was ninth fetter stuff. And somewhere along the line, I think I saw a belief that somehow I'm doing all of these practices so I can be fucking free of this reactivity. And Federer 4 and 5, and it's like, okay, so we have an agenda,
Yeah.
and somebody thinks that they can do something to make something happen, and I'm like, okay, so great. Where does that leave me? Oh, me. What, you know? And I'm just like, I
Never
feel
ending nonstop.
I feel like a fucking lunatic. And then I I was looking at Discord the other day, a thread, and it seemed like these people are not in the lower 5. So again, here's another group that I can't possibly belong to. And I'm like, oh, will you please just quiet with the stories? Just shh. And one more thing that makes it clear about the stories. I had a dream the other night, something to do with a rug that I was going to have repaired, and the guy couldn't fix it, but he said, I'll give you $5,200 for it. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. And then for whatever reason, I had to leave. And then when I came back, both the man and the rug were gone. So I felt like, wow, I had that and lost it. And so later I inquired, what the fuck does this dream mean? And I saw that, oh, it was just an entire gain and loss story that was completely in the head. It had no bearing on reality at all. And so I realized, okay, I am like thoroughly addicted to narratives and stories, you know, inspiring ones, movies, podcasts, blah, 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 blah. So what to do? What do I do now? What do I do now? I
Well,
just want
the first thing you do, sweet Jean, the first thing you do is breathe. Breathe. One of the advantages with creating all that drama is that we don't feel, because you're fluttering up there. Breathe and come back into the body. There's something in the body right now that feels very, very uncomfortable, very icky. And that is why you're trying to leave the body all the time and being in the future and being in the past. Ding, 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 back and forth. Come into the body and just breathe and feel right now. Can you be in a body where all this is happening? And just sit here. And if you have that, no, I fucking can't, then okay. Can you be in a body where the situation is right now so icky that you can't be with it? So can you accept the resistance to the resistance? And it's just breathing. This is what is here right now. In your body right now, you can feel your little toe. You feel the smallest toe on your foot. Bring all your awareness, all your attention into that. And then feel your big toe. And feel your entire foot. And if you keep your eyes closed and just sit and notice, if you close your eyes and just sit and notice, how does a foot actually feel? You can feel it's just buzzing sensation. It was a label we put on it when we called it a little toe, a big toe, and an entire foot. In reality, it's just a buzzing sensation. That is all there is. The rest is just labels. So just sit and notice that buzzing sensation. And that buzzing sensation is everywhere. So it's really about slowing down, and zooming in. And if you open your eyes will land on something that you see. And immediately stories are being created about what that is, what shape it has, what color it has, but it's the same thing. Can you look at something and let that be a buzzing sensation? So instead of, for example, I'm sitting and looking at an image of you right now. I'm looking at the picture on the computer screen right now. So the first thing I see is Janine. And I feel so much love because it's a person and I really like you. And, you know, Oti sister and all of that we have in common, you know, you and me and I'm you and all of that. And I see that. That's the first level of it. But then I see through that and know that, well, no, actually, all that is just thoughts. There are colors on a computer screen. It's pixelated. I can see movement. And then I see through Janine, see through the label, see through the sensations I have towards you. And I'm just sitting and that buzzing sensation in my eyes that can create a picture of a person, or I can jump back to just seeing shapes and colors without any label to it. Just like I can jump into feeling so much love towards you and jumping out from that and just feeling how it is to be in this buzzing sensation where I can't even put the label love to anything anymore. It's like beyond that. So practice that in all the situations that you're in. Detaching the labels and just being with that buzzing sensation that we have in our visual field, in the sounds that we hear. It's the same with the sounds. Right now, because I'm speaking a language you understand, you create meaning out of the words that I'm saying. And it's really difficult to just hear the buzzing sensation of words and of sounds when you recognize what it is. So listening to a language you don't understand, or if you really want to be hardcore, listen to a language that you do understand, and then see if you can see through the meaning of the words and just hear that same buzzing sensation that you have in your feet. We have experienced that as children sometimes. When the adults, they were talking, we weren't really listening to what they were saying. It was just like a buzzing sensation of sounds that was in the background. Well, it didn't create any meaning. And the adults would at some point say, are you listening to what I'm saying? And we would say, yeah, because we were, but we didn't understand what they were saying because we're just noticing that buzzing sensation. So it's getting back to that innocence where there's no labels to anything. It's just being right here, right now, slowing down, zooming in, and just being here right now. Keep breathing and just being here and here and here. In the sixth fetter, we have the exercise where I think it's Todd who's talking about it, that you look around in a room and then you say blue, and then suddenly you see all the blue things, and you say blue, and you just look around, and it's like all blue stuff is popping out, even though you have seen the room all along. But when we give that cue, a prompt, thank you. When we give that prompt to the brain, we see all the blue that is popping out. And I had a conversation with somebody this week that is terminal with cancer, where I gave them that exercise, but with love. And instead of seeing blue, when you say blue, you say love. And then you notice love in everything. And that is like a leaf we have autumn here right now, and there's wind, and there would be a leaf that is landing. And it's that lovely movement that the wind is kind of caressing the leaf when the leaf is landing. It's almost like love, the way that the wind is meeting the leaf, and the way that it's landing, the way that clouds, they're moving. It's almost like, a love declaration to the wind that the clouds formations are doing. And you see that with people walking with their dogs, and the dog is turning around and looking at their owner with so much love and gratitude for being out walking. And it's that if you just prompt your brain to seeing love, then you see that everywhere. And it's just making you present right now to what is right now, and just to pull yourself out of the narrative and just be present with what is here right now. But if you need a prompt to something, that could be a prompt. It can also be calm. So you start to notice calm in everything, even when two people are arguing. You can see the calm between the words. You can see the calm in the movement. Or if two people are arguing and you prompt yourself with love, you can see the love that is happening. Even though they're arguing, they're trying to protect themselves. It is an action of protection, what they're doing when they argue. They're trying to protect something that feels vulnerable right now. So it's just helpful to coming back into the present moment like that.
It's a beautiful practice. It feels like painting a painting. When I paint, it's a feeling of what goes where, and being in the world, and Yeah, that's very beautiful with the leaf and the clouds, and I get that. I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Beautiful. So meet yourself with that love and compassion. Connect with your body over and over and over, because as authors, we tend to be helium balloons, and we need sometimes, you know, to be pulled down back into the body and just really noticing what is actually here. Not what I think is here, but what is actually here right now. And we know that that's not an eye. So there's just a meat suit that is noticing the buzzing sensation. And okay, I can do that. I can notice the buzzing sensation that is here. I can notice, the wind and falling leaves.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just going to mention, this wasn't directly related to that, but when you had said about this guy bringing so much joy and love to your day for just existing, you thanked him for just existing. I thought that's such a great reminder to remember that if we have that feeling that I have to do something to be worth my existence on the planet, I have to do something to not be shameful or not be racked with guilt, or that I have to earn my existence here. Just remember that your very presence of just being is having innumerable effects on everything. Um, and you never know what any interaction is going to be doing for those who we interact with, or what effects you're giving out as you go through your day. And that just being is simply enough. You don't have to earn it or justify it or get some accolade or award or work your way up the awakening scale or any of that to be worthy of being here.
Mm.
It seems very obvious in the case of this Cookie Monster guy, and in the case of this beautiful greyhound that we have, that they just show up exactly as they are, and it's cool and it's great. But if I had to turn that around onto me, I'm not sure that I would say the same.
Yeah, why?
No,
Why?
but what is interesting is that Julie is your dog, right?
Yeah.
And she needs to be filled up with love and especially a greyhound that can be like a bit jittery sometimes. You know, so she has to be filled up with something. So you have filled, by you being who you are, you have filled her up so she could go out in the world and meet the Cookie Monster with love and compassion, and him just being in the world filled you up. It is a circle, that is going around, that you have to be in a position where you know that you just being counts. Otherwise, you could not recognize that in him. It needs to be part of you for you to recognize it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. So you do know, somewhere in you, you do know that just being counts.
This is hard. I feel really exposed.
Is it? Are there thoughts that rebel, that try to say that it's not so?
Um, no, I think I'm just right now I'm feeling just really exposed.
Hmm.
That's okay.
Janine, I really love every time you share. I love and I relate so much to what you share. And when you were just sitting there, I was thinking that last night I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. And thoughts start running. And what I'm saying to myself is, I love myself. I matter. I love myself. I'm safe. I love myself. I matter. And I just repeat that. I just repeat it like a mantra. And then eventually it calms me and I fall asleep. And this is what I would offer to you.
Yeah, I have done that in the past, kind of like a mothering kind of thing, which was hard in the beginning because there were so many versions and variations of Janine that I simply despised. I don't any longer, but I still think I have the tendency to ignore them all and just, break on through to the other side kind of thing. No, but that's good. That's space. That's creating some space.
Yeah.
And I believe it too. There's a lot of love and capacity there. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
For listening, for caring.
Thank you so much, both of you.